The Awakening. The hum of ancient machinery slowly faded as Dr. Ilara Chen's eyes fluttered open, her vision blurry and unfocused. The taste of stasis gel lingered in her mouth, bitter and metallic. As her senses gradually sharpened, confusion set in. This wasn't right. The awakening process felt different, longer, more disorienting than it should have been. Ilara's fingers twitched, then her arms, as she fought against the lethargy that gripped her body. With great effort, she managed to sit up, the transparent cover of her stasis pod sliding away with a soft hiss. The air that rushed in was stale, heavy with the scent of dust and decay. "Status report," she croaked, her voice hoarse from disuse. Silence greeted her command. The holographic displays that should have sprung to life remained dark and lifeless. As her eyes adjusted to the dim emergency lighting, Ilara took in her surroundings. The vast chamber that housed thousands of stasis pods stretched out before her, row upon row of sleepers waiting to be awakened. But something was terribly wrong. Many of the pods were dark, their occupants nothing more than skeletal remains. Others showed signs of damage, their protective covers cracked or shattered. Ilara's heart raced as the implications sank in. The sanctuary, humanity's last hope in the face of global catastrophe, had failed. She stumbled out of her pod, her legs weak and unsteady. How long had she been asleep? The mission parameters had called for a century of stasis, allowing the Earth time to heal from the ravages of climate change and war. As she made her way to the central control console, Ilara's scientific mind began to catalog the changes around her. The metal floors were corroded, covered in a thin layer of an unfamiliar, moss-like growth. The air, while breathable, had an odd composition that tickled her lungs. Everything pointed to a passage of time far beyond what had been planned. The console flickered to life at her touch, its systems running on the last dregs of emergency power. Ilara's eyes widened in disbelief as she read the date displayed. 1,000,000 years, she whispered, the words feeling alien on her tongue. It's been 1,000,000 years. The weight of that number threatened to crush her. Everyone she had ever known, everything she had ever cared about, was gone, transformed or erased by the inexorable march of time. Ilara was a living fossil, a relic of a long-forgotten age. Fighting back tears, she accessed the sanctuary's logs. The entries painted a grim picture. 2 centuries after the facility was sealed, a massive earthquake had damaged crucial systems. Life support for most of the sleepers had failed. Only a handful of pods, Ilara's included, had remained operational thanks to an experimental quantum power source. But why had no one come to their aid? Surely, in 1,000,000 years, humanity would have recovered, returned to the sanctuary to reclaim its sleeping ancestors. Unless... Ilara's blood ran cold at the thought. What if humanity hadn't survived? What if she was the last human being on Earth? Determined to find answers, Ilara made her way to the sanctuary's exit. The massive doors, designed to withstand the apocalypse itself, groaned in protest as emergency systems forced them open for the first time in eons. Sunlight, brilliant and blinding, poured in. Ilara shielded her eyes, tears streaming down her face as she took her first breath of fresh air in 1,000,000 years. As her vision adjusted, she gasped at the sight before her. The world outside was an alien landscape. The barren wasteland she had expected was instead a riot of colors and life. Massive trees, unlike any she had ever seen, stretched towards the sky. Their trunks were a deep purple, their leaves shimmering with bioluminescence even in the daylight. Strange, bird-like creatures with 6 wings soared overhead, their calls a haunting melody. Where the sanctuary had once stood isolated in a remote mountain range, a lush jungle now thrived. Vines and roots had invaded the facility, nature reclaiming what humans had abandoned. In the distance, Ilara could make out the twisted remnants of old human structures, half-buried and unrecognizable. As she took her first tentative steps into this new world, movement caught her eye. A creature emerged from the underbrush, regarding her with intelligent curiosity. It walked on 4 legs, its body covered in iridescent scales that shifted color as it moved. Its head was crested with feather-like sensory organs, and its eyes, 3 of them, blinked at her in sequence. Ilara froze, her scientific mind racing to categorize this impossible being. It was clearly a product of evolution, adapted to the changed Earth in ways she could barely comprehend. The creature tilted its head, then made a series of clicks and whistles. To Ilara's astonishment, she felt a response form in her mind. Not words, exactly, but impressions. Curiosity, welcome, caution. Somehow, incredibly, the creature was communicating with her telepathically. "Hello," Ilara said softly, her voice trembling. "I'm Ilara. I'm from the past." The creature's eyes widened, and a flood of images filled Ilara's mind. She saw flashes of the Earth's history, of great changes and cataclysms, of the rise and fall of civilizations both familiar and utterly alien. She saw humanity's descendants reaching for the stars. And then, nothing. A great silence. As the vision faded, Ilara understood. Humanity, as she had known it, was gone. They had left this world behind, venturing into the cosmos and leaving Earth to heal and evolve in their absence. She was a living link to a past that had become legend. The creature gestured with one of its limbs, inviting Ilara to follow. As they moved deeper into the jungle, Ilara's mind raced with questions. What wonders and dangers did this new Earth hold? Were there others like her, still sleeping, waiting to be awakened? And what role would she, a woman out of time, play in this transformed world? With each step, the unknown future stretched out before her, as vast and mysterious as the million years that had passed in the blink of an eye. Dr. Ilara Chen, the last awakened human, took a deep breath of the alien air and strode forward, ready to embrace the adventure that awaited her in this brave new world. The new inhabitants. As Ilara followed her alien guide deeper into the jungle, she marveled at the diversity of life around her. The creature, which she had mentally dubbed Trioculus due to its 3 eyes, led her through a landscape teeming with impossible beings. Plants that walked on root-like legs, swarms of crystalline insects that communicated through light pulses, and floating jellyfish-like organisms that drifted through the air like living balloons. After what felt like hours of travel, they emerged into a clearing. Ilara gasped at the sight before her. A city, if it could be called that, rose from the jungle floor. But this was no human metropolis. The structures were alive, grown rather than built, their surfaces rippling with bioluminescent patterns. Beings of all shapes and sizes moved through the living architecture, some flying, others crawling or slithering. Trioculus led Ilara to what appeared to be a central gathering place. A group of diverse creatures awaited them, their forms as varied as the ecosystem around them. One floated in a bubble of water, tentacles waving gently. Another seemed to be made entirely of living crystal, its thoughts resonating through the air like chimes. Through a mixture of telepathy and gestures, Ilara began to understand the situation. Earth had become a galactic wildlife preserve, tended to by various alien species. Humanity's descendants had indeed left for the stars, but not before setting in motion a grand experiment in guided evolution. The beings before her were the result, a coalition of sentient species that had risen to safeguard the planet. As Ilara shared her story, she sensed a mix of emotions from the gathered beings. Curiosity, excitement, but also concern. Her presence was unprecedented, a living relic from a time long past. Some viewed her as a valuable source of information, others as a potential threat to the delicate balance they had achieved. A debate ensued, carried out in a flurry of telepathic exchanges, light patterns, and pheromone bursts that left Ilara struggling to keep up. In the end, a consensus was reached. She would be allowed to stay, to learn and to share her knowledge, but under close observation. As the gathering dispersed, Trioculus remained by Ilara's side. It would be her guide and guardian in this new world. Together, They set off to explore the city, Ilara's mind bursting with questions about the marvels that awaited her. Part 3. Uncovering the Past. In the weeks that followed, Ilara threw herself into understanding this new Earth. She learned to communicate more effectively with her alien hosts, her mind adapting to their telepathic abilities. Trioculus proved to be a patient teacher, helping her navigate the complexities of this evolved ecosystem. But even as she marveled at the wonders around her, Ilara couldn't shake the need to understand what had happened to her own kind. With the help of her new allies, she began to piece together the story of the missing million years. Climate change had indeed reshaped the planet, but humanity had survived, adapting and evolving. They had reached for the stars, establishing colonies throughout the solar system and beyond. But as their power grew, so did their impact on other worlds. A galactic council had intervened, forcing humanity to face the consequences of their expansion. In a twist of cosmic irony, Earth had been declared off-limits to its original inhabitants. Humanity's descendants were allowed to seed the planet with evolutionary potential before departing for distant stars. The Earth was to be a monument, a living museum of their origins, and a chance at redemption through the life they left behind. Ilara's heart ached at the thought of her people scattered across the cosmos, forever separated from their homeworld. But she also felt a sense of pride in the beauty and diversity that had blossomed in their absence. As she delved deeper into her research, Ilara made a startling discovery. The sanctuary had not been the only fail-safe put in place by her ancestors. Other facilities around the world might still hold sleeping humans, waiting to be awakened. The question was, should they be? Part 4. The Awakening of Others. Ilara's discovery sparked intense debate among the coalition of Earth's new guardians. Some argued that awakening more humans could disrupt the delicate balance they had achieved. Others saw it as an opportunity to learn more about Earth's past and to honor the planet's original inhabitants. After much deliberation, a compromise was reached. Ilara would be allowed to awaken a small number of her fellow humans, but they would be scattered across different regions, integrated into various communities to minimize their impact. With a team of alien scientists and explorers, Ilara embarked on a global journey to locate and revive her long-lost companions. Each awakening was a mixture of joy and sorrow, as the revived humans grappled with the enormity of time that had passed and the transformed world around them. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a climatologist, emerged from a facility deep in what had once been Antarctica, now a temperate forest. Captain Miguel Ortiz, a military strategist, was found in a bunker beneath the shifting sands of the Sahara, which had become a lush wetland. Dr. Aisha Okafor, a brilliant geneticist, awakened in a chamber hidden within the living mountain ranges that had once been the Himalayas. As the small group of humans came to terms with their new reality, they formed a tight-knit community, supporting each other through the shock and wonder of their situation. Ilara watched with a mixture of pride and concern as her companions adapted to their new circumstances, each finding a unique way to contribute to the world around them. Yuki's expertise helped the coalition better understand Earth's climate history. Miguel's strategic mind proved valuable in managing the planet's delicate ecological balance. Aisha's knowledge of genetics opened new avenues of communication with the diverse species that now called Earth home. But as the humans integrated into this new world, questions began to arise. What was their place in this evolved Earth? Did they have a responsibility to the civilization that had left them behind? And what of the other sleepers still hidden around the world? Part 5. Humanity's New Path. As months turned to years, the awakened humans and their alien hosts settled into an uneasy coexistence. The coalition valued the unique perspective and historical knowledge the humans brought, while the humans marveled at the complex and beautiful world that had grown in their absence. But the question of humanity's future continued to hang over them. The discovery of a long-dormant communication array, capable of sending messages to the stars, brought the issue to a head. Should they attempt to contact the distant descendants of humanity? Would those far-flung relatives even remember their ancestral home? The debate raged not just among the humans, but among all of Earth's sentient inhabitants. Some feared that contacting humanity's descendants might lead to a return of the destructive force that had once dominated the planet. Others argued that the awakened humans deserved a chance to reconnect with their own kind. In the end, it was Ilara who proposed a compromise. They would send a message to the stars, not a plea for rescue or a call for return, but an invitation to witness. Earth would open its doors as a place of learning and reflection, a living monument to the planet that had given birth to a spacefaring civilization. The coalition worked together to craft the message, a testament to the beauty and resilience of life, to the lessons of the past and the possibilities of the future. As the signal beamed out into the cosmos, Ilara stood with her human companions and their alien friends, watching the stars with a mixture of hope and trepidation. They had no way of knowing if or when a response might come. But in that moment, gazing up at the familiar yet changed constellations, Ilara felt a profound sense of peace. Humanity's path had taken an unexpected turn, but perhaps this was where they were meant to be all along, not conquerors of nature, but its students and caretakers. As new generations of humans were carefully awakened and integrated into Earth's evolved biosphere, a new culture began to emerge. It was a culture that honored the past while embracing the incredible diversity of the present, that saw humanity not as separate from nature, but as an integral part of it. Ilara, now regarded as an elder and teacher, often reflected on the strange twist of fate that had brought her to this moment. She had gone to sleep expecting to help rebuild a broken world, only to awaken to find that the world had healed itself in ways she could never have imagined. As she watched a group of human children playing with their alien counterparts, communicating effortlessly through a mixture of telepathy, bioluminescence, and laughter, Ilara smiled. The Earth of her time was gone, but something magnificent had taken its place, and humanity, in its own small way, was once again part of the grand tapestry of life on this ever-changing planet. The future stretched out before them, as vast and mysterious as the million years that had passed in the blink of an eye. But whatever challenges it might hold, Ilara knew that life, in all its tenacious and beautiful forms, would find a way to thrive. As months turned to years, the awakened humans and their alien hosts settled into an uneasy coexistence. The coalition valued the unique perspective and historical knowledge the humans brought, while the humans marveled at the complex and beautiful world that had grown in their absence. But the question of humanity's future continued to hang over them. The discovery of a long-dormant communication array, capable of sending messages to the stars, brought the issue to a head. Should they attempt to contact the distant descendants of humanity? Would those far-flung relatives even remember their ancestral home? The debate raged not just among the humans, but among all of Earth's sentient inhabitants. Some feared that contacting humanity's descendants might lead to a return of the destructive force that had once dominated the planet. Others argued that the awakened humans deserved a chance to reconnect with their own kind. In the end, it was Ilara who proposed a compromise. They would send a message to the stars, not a plea for rescue or a call for return, but an invitation to witness. Earth would open its doors as a place of learning and reflection, a living monument to the planet that had given birth to a spacefaring civilization. The coalition worked together to craft the message, a testament to the beauty and resilience of life, to the lessons of the past and the possibilities of the future. As the signal beamed out into the cosmos, Ilara stood with her human companions and their alien friends, watching the stars with a mixture of hope and trepidation. Years passed with no response, and life on Earth continued to evolve. The awakened humans found their place within the planet's new ecosystem, becoming stewards and students of this transformed world. Ilara, now regarded as an elder and teacher, often reflected on the strange twist of fate that had brought her to this moment. Then, on a warm evening a decade after sending their message, the sky lit up with an otherworldly glow. A ship, unlike anything Ilara had ever seen, descended from the heavens. It was organic in nature, seeming to pulse with life as it gently touched down in the clearing before the gathered coalition. The days that followed, the children of Earth shared stories of their journey among the stars, of the civilizations they had encountered and the wonders they had seen. In turn, Ilara and her companions showed them the marvels of the reborn Earth, the intricate web of life that had flourished in humanity's absence. As the two groups mingled, a new understanding began to emerge. The children of Earth had no desire to disturb the delicate balance that had been achieved on their ancestral home. Instead, they proposed a cultural exchange. Earth would remain a preserve, a living museum of evolution, but it would also become a place of pilgrimage and learning for their far-flung civilization. In return, they offered the awakened humans a choice: remain on Earth as guardians of its past and stewards of its future, or join them among the stars, carrying the memory of old Earth to distant worlds. Ilara stood at the center of it all, marveling at the turn of events. She had gone to sleep expecting to help rebuild a broken world, only to awaken to find that the world had healed itself in ways she could never have imagined. And now, against all odds, humanity had found its way home again, changed but unbroken. As the sun set on this new era, Ilara watched a group of human children playing with their alien counterparts, communicating effortlessly through a mixture of telepathy, bioluminescence, and laughter. Beside them, one of the children of Earth shared stories with a cluster of fascinated, evolved Earth beings. Ilara smiled, feeling a profound sense of peace wash over her. The Earth of her time was gone, but something magnificent had taken its place. Humanity had not just survived, but had transcended its origins, becoming part of a greater cosmic community while honoring its roots. The future stretched out before them, as vast and mysterious as the million years that had passed in the blink of an eye. But whatever challenges it might hold, Ilara knew that life, in all its tenacious and beautiful forms, would find a way to thrive. As night fell and the stars emerged, brighter and more numerous than Ilara remembered, she made her decision. She would remain on Earth, a bridge between the past and the future, helping to guide both the newly awakened humans and the pilgrim children of Earth who came to learn from this reborn world. The once sleeping scientist gazed up at the cosmic tapestry above, feeling more alive than she ever had before. In losing everything, she had gained a universe, and in the grand dance of time and evolution, humanity had found its true place, not as conquerors, but as conscious participants in the ever-unfolding story of life itself.